Hey guys, it's Shannon. I have another great Dollar Tree craft for you today. And even though I geared this more towards a Valentine's Day decor piece, you could also leave this up year round. You could also adapt these techniques that I'm going to show you in the video today and create your own wreath or monogram. So lots of great ideas you can take away from this one. So let's get started with the project. All right, so first a look at our supplies here, and you're sort of getting two projects in one because our X is one and our O is a completely separate different one. And for the O, you're going to need one of these green floral foam wreaths as well as some reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. And then for the X over here, I have white foam board from the Dollar Tree. And then beyond that, you're also going to need a foam paintbrush, a regular paintbrush, two different colors of paint. I'm going to be using this apple barrel paint in the color King's Gold. It's basically a dark yellow. And then also in Americana brand, I'm going to be using traditional burnt umber, but use whatever color you like for your X to make it, you know, a darker wood color or a lighter wood color. We're basically giving it a faux finish. And then I also have an X-Acto knife. And then back here, you'll need a hot glue gun and glue sticks for both of these. So let's start with the X. We can get that painting and drying while we work on the O. And I have my wreath out here for size. This wreath is about 10 inches in diameter. I want my X to be a little bit bigger than that. So I'm gonna be making two rectangles with my ruler as a guide to make it 10 inches long and about 4 inches wide, and I need two of those. So I'm gonna trace those out and then use my X-Acto knife here to cut the pieces from the foam board. All right, so trial and error here. I'm not quite happy with how thick these are, so I'm gonna cut 1 inch off of each one so they are 3 inches instead of 4 inches wide. This size is much better. I'm much happier with the 3 inch versus the 4 inch because when you cross them, that looks much more like an X, and it's also a nice size next to the O or the wreath. So my next step is to add a coat or two of the yellow paint onto this foam board here. You want to make sure you get the sides and the ends, and then if you're gonna see the back, do the back. I'm gonna skip that part because mine's gonna be sitting on a shelf so you won't see the back. And then we're gonna let that dry and come back and work on the wreath. And now we're gonna move on to the next step. I have these back here drying. You wanna be careful that you don't get reindeer moss into your drying paint because it'll dry on there. But I did also wanna mention that you don't have to be super perfect about these. This is just a background color, so don't get too fussy about how nice it looks. But now we're gonna work on the wreath. And now I have my glue gun and glue sticks out. You're gonna need several of these because we're gonna use that to glue our moss all the way around the wreath and give it a nice layer of the moss, and it'll be a pretty sort of farmhouse springy look. So here's the wreath completely covered, and what I'm gonna do now is take my scissors and just sort of trim off any pieces that are sort of wild or hanging there. I wanna get any loose pieces off. And one way to keep this from shedding so bad is you could actually wrap this in jute or twine, and it'll give it a completely different look, but it'll help hold a lot of this on there. I really want this to have more of an organic look. So what I've been doing is just sort of compressing it with my hands to form it more into a wreath that way and keep it from shedding so bad. But I'm also going to be using some hairspray as a fixative, and it literally works like a hairspray, so it'll keep some of this from falling off there. I keep forgetting to get the aerosol can, but if you have aerosol hairspray, that would work a lot better. So just a tip, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up, and then I'm gonna actually completely clean this up so when we come back to paint, we don't have all of this mess. If you wanna do these in 2 different places, you can do that. This is kind of my nice filming space, so I need to re-clean this, and then we'll come back and paint as well. All right, so now back to the X pieces here. I've got my dark brown paint, my regular paintbrush, and some paper towels. We're gonna give these a faux wood look. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of paint to the sides and the ends here just to get the yellow covered up. You don't necessarily have to worry about the faux technique on that part. But the top, we wanna make sure we're going back and forth instead of up and down, just so it has that wood grain look. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the paint with the paintbrush, and I'm gonna come back with the paper towel here and wipe some of it off just so it'll let some of that yellow come through and it'll have more of a natural wood grain tone. We just did this not long ago with our front door, and I used the same technique. I will link that video up in the iCards as well as down in the description box below, because we faux painted our front door, a metal white front door, with this technique using gel stain instead of acrylic paint, and it turned out gorgeous. So go check that out after this video. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing with the foam board here. And here is a look at it after one coat. I'm gonna go back and do a second coat. And here's a look after 2 coats of the burnt umber. And now I'm just gonna glue them in that X shape. I grabbed some of my jute out just to add a little bit of texture to look like it's tied together. So really super easy, and then I'll show you what it all looks like put together. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this project today. I love taking Dollar Tree items or inexpensive items and transforming them to create something that looks beautiful for your home that's also very affordable. So I absolutely love this natural farmhouse style look, but let me know down in the comments below, how do you decorate for Valentine's Day? Do you do more of the natural farmhouse style? Do you do pink? Do you do red? I have my whole coffee bar in pink and I just love it so much, but I also love the traditional red and have the entryway in red. So let me know down in the comments below, what is your style? I hope that this tutorial inspired you. Make sure to give it a thumbs up for me. There's also a share button under this video where you can click that and share this to your Pinterest page. You can also share this to your social media and share it with your friends and family. And I hope you will also hit the subscribe button and join me every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I bring you new DIYs, new tutorials, and new inspiration. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.